Hello everybody, welcome to the next episode. In the last episode, we went around the monastery doing some things. In this episode, let's do some supports. I thought we might have had more supports to do, but we'll see what supports we'll do before we have some food.
Ashe, I need to give you more gratitude for the commoner techniques you showed me.
Commoner techniques? Oh, you mean when I haggled for you?
Yes, it has made for many savings. I was telling the professor, we both are so happy.
Really, it wasn't a big deal, but I'm glad the professor was pleased. What is it? Do I have something on my face?
For a lot of time, I was living in the Imperial capital. Then I came here to the monastery. Both places contain many nobles, and many chances to be learning noble customs.
That's true. When you're surrounded by new people, you naturally pick up all kinds of stuff. Though with nobles, there's a lot to learn. All the etiquette is overwhelming. Not to mention the dancing. I just keep stepping on my partner's feet.
In Fodlan, the nobles are training for dancing since their youth. They have much skill.
When I was a kid, I spent most of my time helping out at my parents' restaurant and playing with my brother and sister. Back then, I never dreamed I'd ever be studying at a proper academy with all these nobles.
I have learned many customs of the nobles, but few of the commoners. I am hoping you will teach me. Techniques, secret skills, anything. All of the things.
Secret skills? I don't think I know anything that fancy.
That is not the truth. The technique for money saving could be helpful even for nobles. It has use for all the world.
I don't know about that. Really, I don't have any special secrets.
Commoner wisdom is only to be shared with commoners, then? I have understanding. Forbidden knowledge. Ashe, how about we make a bargain? We can be trading information. In Brigid, powerful curse techniques are passed down. And we can speak with the spirits. I can be teaching you these things.
What? Curses? No. I don't need any dangerous information like that. But if you really insist, I guess I could teach you a few things about what life is like on the streets. Would that be enough?
You will be showing me the secret techniques? I cannot be waiting!
That's not what I meant.
That reminds me, Ferdinand. I wonder if a certain rumor has already reached your ears.
I suspect I know what you are referring to. A certain noble who caused a stir at one of the local taverns, correct? For someone of status to make such a scene. What a disgrace.
I thought just the same. A noble ought to hold himself to a higher standard. It is hardly appropriate to drink and mingle with a tavern full of commoners.
Oh, that is not quite what I meant. I do not object to a noble patronizing their local establishments. In fact, I would say such excursions have value.
Is that so? I would be very curious to hear what value you mean exactly. But allow me first to venture a guess. Is it that you suppose it is proper for a noble to bolster a town's wealth with his patronage? If that is your thinking, then I would counter that whatever one adds to a merchant's coffers seldom makes it to the pockets of the townsfolk. I think that if a noble wishes to use his resources to ease the burdens of the commoners, he ought to go about town and spend it more directly.
That is wonderfully insightful, Lawrence, albeit not what I had in mind. What I meant was this. We can benefit from crossing the threshold and learning more about regular folk. We scarcely understand the reality of their lives. In turn, they do not know about us. I have heard that some believe we have horns growing from our heads. It is an embarrassing and potentially perilous state of affairs.
You are quite right. In fact, that reminds me of something a boy once said to me when I visited a village on my family's territory. He actually asked me if I had a tail. Hilarious.
We all need a laugh now and then. As a man of status, I feel it is my calling to right the world's wrongs. But there's only so much I can do alone. Working in tandem, though, you and I could make tremendous accomplishments.
My sentiments exactly. Together we could achieve a great deal. Though the circumstances of birth may have placed one of us in the Empire and the other in the Alliance, we can still study and fight together.
Yes, precisely. Together, there is nothing that we cannot accomplish. By the way, Lawrence, do you have a tail?
Meat is the best! Veggies and fish are great too, but there's nothing like a good cut of meat.
May I join you?
Hey, Lawrence! You here to eat? It looks like you barely grabbed anything.
Please, this amount will suffice for me. There's no need to compare our portions.
No wonder you're so skinny. My little sis eats more than you. Come on, have some of mine. You need it more than I do.
You offer me half-eaten scraps? The nerve! With manners like that, even a nobleman would be an absolute disgrace. Have you no dignity?
You're pretty touchy, huh? It's probably just because you're hungry.
Raphael, please, do you mind? I cannot enjoy the simple pleasure of a meal in these conditions.
Why can't you enjoy your meal? You don't like what's on the menu? You wait here. I'll go to the kitchen and find something tastier for you.
That won't be necessary. Please, just let me eat. In peace. Alone.
I don't think you get it, Lawrence. Nothing goes with a meal better than good company. If leading the Alliance is your goal, you should really try eating with other people first.
I'm afraid I fail to see the connection between leadership and dining.
If you want to be a leader, you have to know how to get along with different types of people, right? If you really want to get to know someone, all you have to do is share a meal with them.
Quite the contrary, unfortunately. It seems the more time I spend eating with you, the less likely we are to become friends.
The more you eat with someone, the more you learn about them. Their likes, their dislikes, you know? You might get some of their food that way too. You can eat more and bulk up. All that talking made me hungry again. I'm gonna go get seconds.
What an absolute bother. But I suppose he does have a point about observations of character at the dinner table. Lysithea, do you have a moment? There is a matter of significance I'd like to discuss with you.
I know you're always seeking the attention of ladies, but why are you wasting your breath on me?
Don't be silly. I'm here to discuss Fodlan's future.
I'm not so sure I'm the one being silly. Actually, I'm busy. Stuff to do.
Now, hold on just a moment. House Ordelia will never benefit from such a narrow-minded mentality.
I was under the impression you were interested in me as a person. What do house matters have to do with anything?
As it stands, the bonds between Alliance lords are quite weak. If this state of affairs persists, I'm afraid those bonds may dissolve entirely.
I couldn't care less.
House Ordelia may be small, but a small house is fettered by fewer obligations than a larger one. Apply yourselves actively in diplomacy, negotiate wisely, and you could do much to help maintain peace among the neighboring lords. The recognition of those lords would benefit your house immensely. To that end, why not start with me, the heir to House Gloucester? It couldn't hurt for us to become friends, could it?
Yes, of course, when the time comes. But right now, I'm quite busy. Maybe later. As it is, I'm studying magic for the benefit of Fodlan's future, and I would appreciate it if you left me to it.
Ah, I see. Then forgive the intrusion. I will take my leave of you for now. But if there is any way I can be of help, to you or your house, I hope that you won't hesitate to ask. After all, as I'm sure you know, the future of all Fodlan is my responsibility.
The future, he says. As though I have a future. Balthus, do you have a moment?
Well, well, it's the little lady of House Ordelia. What can I do for you?
You piqued my interest when you spoke about my parents coming to your rescue.
Oh, right. Forgot I let that slip. After I fled my home, I became something of a vagrant, getting into fights, borrowing money I couldn't pay back. The works.
Oh, I know all about it. You were quite the vagabond.
Wherever I went, I was treated like trash. Securing enough food to live on got harder and harder. It became clear that I wasn't welcome in Alliance territory, so I decided to head over to the Empire. My big mistake was stopping by the Great Bridge of Murden on the way. Just my luck, some jerk of a minor lord north of the bridge was on a hunt for the bounty on my head.
Oh, that's awful.
Would have been fine if I'd been alone, but innocent folks were around. Didn't want to endanger them. That's when I turned tail. I ran until I couldn't run another step, and found myself in Ordelia territory. I knew Count Ordelia from when I was still with my family's house, so it seemed like a decent option. I was hoping our history would be enough to secure a place of sanctuary, but no such luck.
They refused to take you in?
Yeah, I could tell there was some reason behind it. But they told me to get out as fast as I could.
Ah, I imagine it was when the Empire was meddling with my family. We lived in shackles back then.
Makes sense. Still, I'm grateful. They gave me food and distracted the Empire's cronies so I could escape. I was half dead from starvation, so that meal saved my life. No joke. Your family's the real deal. Just imagine what the Empire would have done to me. I can tell you it wouldn't have been pretty.
I have no doubts. We weren't allowed contact with anyone from the outside. It was strictly forbidden.
I see. Well, that's when I vowed to find a way to repay them. One day I'll do just that.
And when do you intend to carry out this vow of yours? In due honesty, I don't see you as someone capable of carrying out vows right now, or even keeping your things together.
Can't argue with that. It'll take me a while to repay that debt, but I will. Just you wait and see.
Alright. This will be all the supports for now. Bitter Bites. A dining hall festival was the monastery's best kept secret is cheese, and hands went dying with bitter food enthusiasts, and of course it's starting to rain. If the rain starts getting too loud, I might have to scrap this recording. Let's see.
This is my favorite dish. Did someone tell you?
This is my most favorite dish of all. I love it almost as much as Crestology itself.
Alright, let's take a look at this. So I think, yeah, all cheese-based dishes are better right now. Da, da, da.
flavor is nostalgic to me for some reason. I'd like some more.
Eating food always fires me up. Hoorah! Let's go fight somebody!
Oh, this takes me back. I used to love this when I was a child.
Captain Gerald and I used to enjoy meals together just like this.
But it looks like the rain's starting to die down. Lawrence.
I did not expect much from the dining hall, but this does not disappoint.
I think I like this, but it's been a while, so I'm not sure.
Alright, one more. Yoni.
That looks delicious. Goddess forgive me, I've just got to indulge.
This is delicious! My absolute favorite!
Alright, there goes the bell, and that should unlock a few more supports.
Your Highness, missing the day's training? How unlike you.
I had intended to train, but this rain is unrelenting.
Yes, it's really coming down out there. Makes it hard to go outside, I suppose. It's pouring so hard, I can't help but feel poorly.
Yes, quite.
Sorry, that one was pretty bad. I think this weather is putting a damper on my sense of humor.
At any rate, did you need me for something?
Ah, yes. You seem to have the time to spare, so would you help me organize our stock of weapons? You must know a thing or two about weapons, and I bet you're no slouch at physical labor.
Of course, I'd be happy to help. I was just hoping for a useful way to pass the time until the rain lets up.
I appreciate it. I don't know how I do it all on my own. You know, it's great that you're willing to help with this kind of thing. Some nobles are so self-important. You're a real go-getter, Your Highness. Or should I say, your spryness? Maybe that was disrespectful. If he's going to lop off my head, he'd better go ahead and do it. I can't bear the silence. Listen, Your Highness, that joke, I didn't mean to...
I just...
Huh?
Oh my, I'm sorry, Eloise.
Wait, you mean you actually found it funny?
Oh goodness, not at all.
I see.
But when a joke is unfunny to a certain degree, it somehow comes full circle into hilarity.
That's not exactly what I was going for. Still, I don't think I've ever seen you laugh so loudly.
It's true. Laughter is not one of my strong suits. I actually can't recall the last time I laughed like that. Eloise, perhaps you should focus your efforts on honing this comedic talent of yours.
This talent? Is that your way of saying I'm no good at telling jokes?
My apologies. I should refrain from commenting on the quality of your jokes. What's important is that they bring joy, right?
That does it. Next time I make you laugh, I'm gonna make you admit it was a good quality joke. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to cook up some top-notch rib ticklers.
Alois, what about organizing the weapons? Oh, he's gone, isn't he?
Someone that actually laughs at Alois's humor. Not humor, jokes.
Hey, Leone, are you just getting back? Whoa, what's with the bag? It's huge!
Oh, this? I thought I'd get all my chores done at once. Guess it got a little out of hand. Sorry to be a pain, but could you help me out?
I'm happy to help. Where'd you go to get all this stuff?
Well, first it was just the cloth scraps from the tailor, and then it was the used oil from a restaurant in town. After that, it was the books the scholars didn't know what to do with. I mean, that was just on the way.
Whoa, it sounds like you did a lot of running around today.
It wasn't so bad. I just figured it would save time if I did it all in one trip.
You planned all that out? Impressive! What are you gonna do with all that stuff you got?
The scraps will be good for dishcloths, and I can make soap from the oil. The books are just to help with my studies.
You really can't let anything go to waste, can you?
Nope, can't stand the idea.
Who knew you were so thoughtful? I mean, with actual thinking ahead. You're so generous to everyone and always making me food. I never knew how much thought you must put into it.
I cook to relax, and it's nice seeing how enthusiastic you get about eating what I make. Whatever I give away is just the stuff that isn't useful to me. I pick up all sorts of things when I'm in town. Giving things like that to people who need them or who can actually use them makes sure they aren't wasted.
That makes sense. You've got to use up the stuff you've got after all. Hey, do you think you're like this because you didn't have much growing up?
I guess times were tough now that you mention it. The folks in my village definitely aren't rich. My dad had to go through a lot of trouble to get the recommendations I needed to attend the academy. That doesn't mean I've grown up to be stingy. It just means I don't like to squander. Anyway, enough of that. It's in poor taste to go on about your own hardships. I've always got time for a meal with a friend, and it so happens I picked up some choice meat today. Why don't we share it?
Now you're speaking my language.
How are you, Catherine? You look well enough.
Oh, yes, I'm fine. Never better.
That is good. I cannot help but be concerned given your tendency toward incautious behavior. While boldness can be a virtue, I do hope you will bear in mind that recklessness is not. A moment's negligence can lead to a mortal wound for even the most skilled fighter.
You worry too much. If they saw me in action, the wounds themselves would cower.
That is precisely the attitude that worries me, especially given your history. You have been gravely injured before, as you no doubt recall.
Me? Gravely injured? When did that happen?
You mean you have forgotten? It was during your days as a student at the Officers' Academy. There was an excursion, a monster hunt. You charged ahead and left your fellow students behind. You ended up alone and surrounded. You almost died. Do you truly not remember?
Are you sure? All I remember is cutting down monsters left and right.
That is true enough, but you nearly bled to death in the aftermath. The Archbishop was so concerned for your life that she tended your wounds personally.
Oh, that was when that happened. Finally! It all fits together. Lady Rhea looking after me. Now that I remember clearly. That was the first time she ever spoke to me. I was lying on the ground, caked in mud, and she gently picked me up, even stroked my hair. The emotions were so overpowering that they must have just cleared away my memory of the whole incident. So it was during the monster hunt. Thanks, Sedith. That's been bothering me for ages.
That is not quite why I brought it up.
Come to think of it, Lady Rhea hasn't healed me since then. Maybe if I get wounded badly enough, I'll have that honor again.
I know you have a fondness for the Archbishop, but do try to control yourself.
Alright, that should be all the supports. So let's finish the week. Let's instruct manually.
I appreciate your coaching. I will master this. Never underestimate a noble. I am quite pleased.
Dorothea.
I got it? Good. You're quite the motivator, Professor. I appreciate your coaching, Professor. I'm a quick study.
Yoni.
I'm getting it. I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot. No problem. Nothing to get excited about.
Perfect.
No problem.
I'm always improving. Thank you for teaching me.
Here we go. Up your horse.
Let's do this again. You're a good professor.
Now who to teach next?
I've come to understand a great deal. I'm beginning to understand. That was adequate.
All right, one more.
That was so helpful. Thanks. I think I got the hang of it. How's this gonna help?
Group tasks. Don't get a boost at anybody that's good on that. Execute. Begin the lecture.
I have a question.
I'm not very good at sharing my opinion. Usually I just go along with what everyone else thinks. I don't want to bother anyone. They appreciate your opinion, let yourself be heard. It's okay just to be quiet and listen. Take charge. Don't let them walk all over you. They'll appreciate
I
it.
see. Thank you. Professor.
Shamir told me a lot about bows. I have always gotten along real well with horses. Think we could work on both my riding and bow? No. Hadaman wants to see us.
How are you doing, Professor? Would you care to join me for a cup of tea?
Sure.
It occurs to me that whenever we chat, I have a tendency to pester you with my questions and theories about your history. It seems only fair to speak on the topic of myself for once. And perhaps you might feel more positively inclined toward my research if I shared my own story.
So you just want me to help with your research?
Not at all. I am quite honest in my motivations. Well, I suppose I should begin at the beginning, eh? I was born into a noble house of the Empire. Not a large house, mind you, but noble all the same. Our land holdings were small, but our bloodline was quite strong. So, as you can imagine, there were many of us in the family who carried the power of crests. I myself bear a minor crest. Our family's abundance of crests may be part of the reason I've been interested in the topic since I was just a boy. I dedicated myself to my studies, and after years of effort, I became lead crest scholar at the Empire's largest research institution.
Why come to Garrett Mock?
I had only Imperial blood, and thus Imperial crests, at my disposal in the Empire. So I came to Garrick Mock and devoted myself to my research during my time as a professor. My progress is slow, but with each revelation, I move ever closer to the answers I have sought for decades. Your cooperation as the bearer of the Crest of Flames ensures my research will continue to advance. In fact, it may bring me ever closer to the goal of uncovering everything there is to know about crests. I do hope you shall continue helping me advance in this field of study.
Okay.
Together, we will solve the mystery of your Crest of Flames, and our world will be the better for it. Shall we proceed? My lab instruments are fully prepared. I have a great number of tests I'm excited to carry out. No, don't worry. They won't hurt one bit.
Now we're a bee with him.
I get to be with Alois? Yes! I feel so much better.
If you need help leaving your room, I'll be happy to drag you out of there.
What? You're supposed to be on my side! Did I do all right? I tried my best.
Yes, we did a fine job. Always room for improvement, though.
It's in my grasp. How long will this take?
I'm beginning to understand.
Aha! I'm getting it! How's this gonna help?
I still have much to learn.
Impressed yet?
I'm a well-oiled machine.
Right, they want us to do battles. Is there any... No, so I'll probably do the battles off screen. Just real quick, is there any certifications worth doing? I check those off screen as well. So if you enjoyed this episode, do like the videos, it helps tremendously. Subscribe if you haven't already, leave a comment down below on your thoughts this episode, and share the videos, that way more people can discover my content and help the channel grow. And I'll see you all in the next episode. Later.